Clouds drift in the sky, concealing the memory of having once been sheep. When an echo of pastoral memories dwells in the depths of the gaze of those who look up, it secretly initiates a ritual called remembrance. The world is a mirage of contours, a mirage of habit that guides one's gaze into a prison of discipline. The voices whispering, "This is right," and "That is the way it should be," and whose tongues have spoken, wear the name of obstinacy and light the altar of innuendo. In the days when the meaning had not yet hardened, when words were as delicate as ice, the moment when familiarity disguised becoming and banished why to silence. But thoughts always return like ghosts. When new water is poured into the vessel of the old common sense on the desk, it overflows, seeps out, and even makes the grain of the wood speak. Reminiscence is a revolution that resembles memory. Causation is the suspended animation of a question, and obstinacy is the mask of survival masquerading as exile. The whispering voice drags out far-off memories and swallows us up in its whirlpool. The stubborn twists and turns of fate, resisting the torrents of modernity, still quietly live on. Pearls spill from the cracks of tradition, a ritual chain of light and shadow. Like a shadow picture reflected in the flame of a burning log, its significance lies on the border between falsity and reality. The passion that lurks in the formality passed down from generation to generation, the longing for lost virtues, tells us something without words. However, the dull sound of their shackles becomes a burden that slows their progress, denying them the opportunity to break new ground. Whispers of the ancient layers rise like a shimmer on the pavement in broad daylight. The familiar street corners, the comings and goings of people. It lurks behind the outlines of the streets. A low, sustained tone, as if echoing from the bottom of an ancient well. It is the rhythm of the air that everyone hears, but everyone pretends not to hear. The dusty truth is no longer truth, but a wreck of faith. It is an ore that refuses to dissolve, exposed to the acid rain of time. It is an arrogance that does not care about the spilling of the edge of logic, but simply takes its presence there as self-evident. We are the clowns who dance dangerously on the thin ice of everyday life, on the vein of the ore. Like an invisible gene, it densely regulates the form of our thoughts. The silent chorus of "be like this" drowns out the voices of individual births and creates a homogeneous landscape. We grow up with this melody as a lullaby, and one day we ourselves become its singers. Eyes that have forgotten to doubt, believe that the moonlight on the surface of the water is real, and do not want to look into the depths of darkness. It is like a warm, sometimes protective cocoon, but at the same time it is an iron cage that prevents hatching. The cause is the edge, and it sobs. Reminiscent is an affirmation of ambiguity, domination without substance, prison without outline. It is in the presence of its absence that we are most deeply trapped. The past does not die. This is an old play performed over and over again on a stage called The Present. The actors change, but the script remains the same old parchment. Lines are memorized, gestures are imitated. Ad-libs are forbidden, and any deviation is heresy. This stubbornness is the paradox that barely holds the fabric of history together. This nostalgic yet suffocating series of déjà vu experiences. It is an invisible vine that clings to our feet. The arm that tries to cut it off discovers that it is also a branch that grew out of the soil of causality. The wall of causality stands cracked but still standing, and a new breath of life peeks through the cracks. It is a symbol of the contradiction of being a seed that dreams of freedom, yet is nourished by the soil of causality. The chains of obstinacy are rusted gold. Those who call it beauty, those who call it a curse, their voices mingle with the earth, and on the breath of the wind, a flower of clear sound blooms. The stories passed down from generation to generation are the pillars that support the rights of life, and at the same time, they are the gatekeepers that block new steps forward. We must continue to choose. Will we crack the pottery that has been kneaded by fate, or will we pour new water of life into it? The wind whispers. Everything is within a circle. But the circle seems to be unchanging, yet it is constantly changing its form in minute increments. It is the breath of the ancient times, sealed in the amber that sleeps. Deep in the strata of people's souls, the lees of time quietly accumulating, forgetting to pulse. An invisible melody flows through the streets, drowned in the sound of twilight bells, unknowingly setting the pace to the ancient rhyme scheme. Only the inner voice reverberates, and the outer echoes are closed off.